Without a shadow of a doubt, it's the crunkest show in social media history. I want to welcome you to another episode of the War Zone. I got my man in the building, Donovan Sadiq, the Queen, Demetra K, and I am the five-star general. Tonight, what shade of lipstick is people like D.L. Hewlett and the rest of these wannabe celebrities wearing? You got something to say about Cube, but your black ass ain't doing nothing to help your people. We gonna talk about it tonight, man. Say, man, I want to welcome you guys to another episode of the War Zone and tell you thank you for tuning in. Now, you know, the haters done got the page blocked, so what we got to do is we got to share this video. We got 6 more days of the foolishness and I'm back on the main page. But in the meantime, share this video, do a watch party, share this video, share this video, share this video. Because I think by the time we get through, D.L. Hewlett will not have a resemblance of a behind. I'm going to start it off with this here. The Houston Independent School District went back to school yesterday, and the first day of school, 3 schools already closed. I keep telling y'all, man, it ain't safe to go up in them schools. And it is what it is. I will say this here. I spoke on this last night. I talked to Demetra today. Didn't I tell y'all, put more cops in the community? Them dudes ain't gonna do nothing but push back. I know my people, man. I know these streets. So it is what it is, and I will send my condolences out to my man, the officer that passed away, found out he was a Yates graduate. And that doesn't sit well with us, Kim Ogg, district attorney, because from what I understand, this same man was arrested with the same gun that killed the Houston Police Department officer, as well as wounding another one. Now, these 2 guys I know for sure were the good guys. And that's something that we cannot continue to happen. If these people violate the law, send them to jail. And that's what it boils down to. Y'all got to think about that. And remember, I'm rocking with Mary Nan Huffman for Harris County District Attorney, because I'm pretty sure if Huffman was in office, his cat would have never saw the light of day. Donovan, what's going on, my friend?
Oh, wow. We are exactly 2 weeks away from the election, you guys. If you have not voted, and especially all you Democrats out there that, you know, blue no matter who, if Biden doesn't win this election, you have nobody to blame but yourselves, because they're going to try everything they can to prevent people from voting. And us, if it ain't 3 o'clock, we ain't even getting out the bed, much less to go look for a job or anything of that nature. So, get these people out and get them to the polls and make it an overwhelmingly, no doubt, Trump is out. But as far as national news is going right now, Donald Trump is making super spreaders in some of his rallies. People are still going there, for whatever reasons, and nobody seems to be taking this seriously. A friend of mine from the CDC says that we will be in this pandemic for at least another year. And even if they find a cure, they say half the nation we know is not going to take the vaccine. And then speaking of the vaccine and everything that's going on in the nation, they are saying basically that if Donald Trump loses this election, there's been threats of the white Aryan nation and all this other stuff. So as we say on this show, why don't you guys have guns? Why is it that Democrats always tell you to turn in your guns in the hood? Now here we are, a serious threat, and you guys can't even defend yourselves. Demetra?
And Gary, I was going to say, I think your other the page that you're sharing this on is private, because a few people said that from my page they saw that content was unavailable. So that usually means that you're private and only people you're friends with can see it. So just heads up for that. But yeah, so as we know, Nancy Pelosi and Steve Mnuchin, they're in talks. They were last time before I came on here in regards to what's going to go on with the stimulus package. There was no deal as of today. We know that Nancy Pelosi gave Congress, the Senate, if you will, till today to come up with something. And so far, no deal has been reached. Again, there's this argument between $1.8 trillion and $2.2 trillion. $2.2 trillion on the Democrat side, 1.8 on the Republican side. And no matter what the dollar amount is, the American people are doing worse and worse every day due to, as Donovan said, the pandemic is not going to go away. In fact, in most states, the coronavirus is going up. A lot of places are having to scale back a lot of their reopenings because it's just not going away, and it's based on people's behaviors. And as Donovan said, most people are not going to. A lot of people aren't going to take the vaccine, and so that's problematic in and of itself. And so, what we are here to talk about today is, now, of course, Ice Cube is trending, so we want to talk about that. I want to just go out and say, I should have worn my Ice Cube shirt tomorrow, maybe, that I am team Ice Cube because I understand what it is he's trying to do. But you guys have probably seen now a few celebrities, quite a bit of celebrities coming out. I guess they want to be celebrities, right? Coming out and going in opposition of what Ice Cube is saying. So one of those people are D.L. Hughley. You guys know D.L. Hughley. He's had plenty of TV shows. He's a comedian sometimes, I guess. And he now has a podcast or radio show somewhere. I don't know. But over the last couple of weeks, he's been taking Ice Cube to task, basically saying that he's aligned with Trump, sharing articles that are just nonsensical, saying that he's forged a relation or, an agreement with Trump. And none of those things are true. And so Ice Cube responded to D.L. Hughley by posting a middle finger and, basically saying that he actually what D.L. Hughley said about Ice Cube specifically was that Ice Cube is unqualified to have those conversations. Now, D.L. Hughley put out a snippet of one of his podcasts, and he was talking about Ice Cube. And in that, he told on himself, if you guys really listen, he says, I've spoken to Joe Biden and Kamala for hours and hours and hours, and they're telling me about this plan and that plan. And, Trump's plan is no good. And I'm paraphrasing, and then this contract with Black America. And I've read it, and I read all three of them. And he's really on board with Joe and Kamala. And I'm like, this dude is telling on himself. And so I've been all over D.L. Hughley stuff on Twitter, and I've said, you have sold your ass to the Democratic Party. You have. And like I said yesterday, I like to do the math on certain things. D.L. Hughley was out there during the COVID, smack dab in the middle when the COVID happened, out there touring on the Chitlin circuits. You don't do that and put yourself in a danger zone unless you need money. So to me, I don't know if he has, so I'm just going to say allegedly. I wouldn't be surprised if it comes out that D.L. Hughley is on the payroll. Now, of course, we know of Roland Martin, who is going to throw darts at anybody who has anything adverse to say about Democrats, right? So you guys might have heard about the interview that Roland had with Ice Cube, where he pretty much took him to task, asking Ice Cube questions that he didn't have specific answers to. So he tried to make a fool out of him, if you will. And so a lot of people are patting Roland on the back for that. But as I said, why don't he go back and try that shit with Dr. Umar Johnson? Because y'all might have saw that interview with Dr. Umar Johnson ate Roland's lunch. Not only did he eat Roland's lunch, but he ate the whole panel's lunch with the exception of the one guy who agreed with Dr. Umar. And so, of course, you have people like Jamel Hills. She's married to a Black man, but sometimes she comes off as very anti-Black man. And, just a bunch of people out there who are going against what Ice Cube is saying. Now, what has Ice Cube done? For those of you guys who've been under a rock, Ice Cube said that he put his plan out. The Republicans, Trump got back to him. The Democrats said, we'll talk to you after the election. And so one of the Trump advisors tweeted, basically Trump is Ice Cube was a real one for talking with us. And so it alluded to the fact that Ice Cube was in agreement and forged a contract or whatever with Trump. And Ice Cube saying that's not true. But you have D.L. Hughley. Now, I don't have a problem with D.L. Hughley having an opinion, but he's flat out lying on Ice Cube. He is lying on Ice Cube while big upping that the Democratic Party. And I'm like, and D.L. have said how smart he was and how he's researched and all this. And I'm like, well, if you're so damn smart, how is it that you're glossing over the fact that the Democrats, including and specifically Joe Biden, have screwed over Black people? How are you glossing over this? And then he went on to say that, the Republicans, they're refusing to pass an anti-lynching law. And I'm like, okay, well, if you're so smart, you would know that anti-lynching law has been trying to get passed for almost 200 years, if not more than 200 years. And so we know that there has been a party switch within that 200 years. So it's really the Democrats who, was not wanting to initially pass it. And so I say all that to say, and Malcolm X warned us about, a lot of celebrities who are going to do the bidding of the oppressor. And that's what we're starting to see now. So in my opinion, people like DL and all of that, they have sold their ass at the behest of white supremacy for a butter biscuit.
DL Hughley, one, he ain't funny. He ain't never been funny to me. Two, get your money straight before you go at Cube. Cube in a whole different tax bracket, same way 50 Cent in a whole different tax bracket. People don't understand that. And who made DL Hughley an expert on black people? Ever since you did the Kings of Comedy, you've been thinking you high on the hog. Well, Negro, let me tell you something. That's the reason they let you go out first, because you was the warm-up act. You was the warm-up act, partner. And you the warm-up act now. So, I don't have, I'm going to be honest with you. Cube, it was damned if he do, damned if he don't. What has Cube done? Cube made sure that any kid that wanted to have a voice and say what they wanted in music, they're able to do that. They're able to, NWA got targeted by the federal government, the FBI, but they stood firm. This man fought this battle a long time ago. Cube didn't grow up in Beverly Hills. Cube grew up in South Central Los Angeles. He's self-made. And at the end of the day, if he chose to have that meeting with either one of those people, Trump, Biden, whoever, that is his prerogative. And for those that run around here sucking the crust off Joe Biden's ass and the Democratic Party for whatever the reason, then Cube ain't the problem, you are. Cube ain't the problem. And I don't see Cube. No, I met Dub C. No, met Dub C, never met Cube. But I can tell you this, he ain't the type of dude to bite his tongue, man. He ain't he's venturing off into some things where when he gets to talking about it, yeah, he's gonna stutter. He's not an expert at this stuff. But he knows what he wants for his people. Now, what he could have did is tell y'all, I got 168 million in the bank. The hell with you, and I don't have to fight this battle at all. But he stepped out there, and once again, one of us steps out there and does what we're supposed to do. And it ain't the white folk crucifying him, it's the black people. Donovan?
You hit it right there on the head. I mean, that's, and that's what it is. Now, how many times on this show have I said there's many roads to a destination? You got this road, you got that road, but we're all going down to Miami, right? So you have a Malcolm, you have a Martin, and you have whoever else out there, Stokely Carmichael. You got all these people out there, the icon John Lewis. All are trying to do something, but doing it a different way and putting pressure on those bastards that need to be put pressure on. And so they look at that and they say, well, if we deal with this guy, bad shit's going to happen. If we deal with this guy, oh, we got a guy we could probably manipulate. If we get everybody on board that's doing the same thing and we stay focused, maybe we can get something out of these folks. But we want everybody just to be what hasn't been working for us for 60 years. Be nonviolent, be peaceful, just vote the way we say, nigga, and don't worry about it. There was a thing where Joe Biden had said to Ice Cube's people or whatever, that I'll see you after the election. How? No, we want to keep you accountable before. If you can't commit anything to us before you get elected, then we'll let the election stand and good luck to you. Good luck to you. And that's how we got to hold them. I mean, what good is it to go to him after the election when he's already occupying the office and now he's the incumbent? Are you guys aware incumbency is a 96% re-election situation? 96%, because you got the money, you got the office, and you got the space. But they want us to see after the election. Don't think so.
As a people, man, we're not us three. I'm gonna say that right now. Not some of these informed viewers that watch us every night that are very, very opinionated. But us as people, man, we fucked up, man. I'm gonna just be straight up. It's no other word for it. Because somebody can come and tell you something and you'll go against your own people. Let me see how this go. I done been in conversations with good white folk that will ask me, are you voting for Donald Trump? Well, no, I'm not. Well, that's your choice. Blah, 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 blah. Let me get in that discussion with some black people. Are you voting for Joe Biden? No, I'm not voting for Biden. Oh, you a coon. Your mama a coon. That's how I feel about it. But we can tell folks, you can tell us anything, man. And we fall for the banana in the tailpipe every single time. Cube didn't do a goddamn thing wrong, and I stand on 10 toes with that. Ain't nobody else came up with nothing. Man, well, I can't say that. Robert Williams, who was on our show with Wayne Dolcefino, and the coalition that we win, we created a black agenda, got it to Biden's people way before the election, and they would not even look at it. Straight to him, would not even look at it. Joe Biden is a sucker, man. Matter of fact, change his name to Lollipop.
And Gary, I'm glad that you said that, because there has been some people's like, well, he should have gotten to him a lot sooner. But here you are saying that your group got it to him. And I remember when you guys were talking about it, that was months ago. Y'all got it to him and you wouldn't even get back. So it's
in March.
Right. So at some point in time, we just got to be able to say Joe Biden is not interested. He's not interested in really helping black people move the ball again. If you look at his plan, I haven't read all 48 pages, but I read, through it and, the summary, if you will. He's not interested in just helping black people. That Lift Every Voice plan is talking about everybody. So he doesn't want he and this black woman, Kamala Harris, they're not interested in an agenda to help just black people, because Kamala said it herself when she was running for president. I'm not just going to do something to benefit just black people. No. So they feel like they're telling us these things.
Let's go on and create a firestorm tonight then.
Uh-oh.
Let me go on and create a firestorm tonight. So you ain't got a problem doing nothing for no illegal aliens who ain't got no motherfucking business over here. You ain't got a problem doing nothing for them. You ain't got a problem doing nothing for the gay lesbian community.
In your face.
They shit. The white folk ain't really tripping because they good. You feel what I'm saying? You take care of the Asians. You take care of the Indians. But every time it's something about us, we got to have everybody named mama included in the package. That's because you don't want to do anything for us. And you include the other people in the package so that you can downgrade anything that you do for us to the point that we don't get shit out of it anyway. Donovan?
Well, here's the thing. And I was looking at a thing this morning, and they were talking about how if you look at Joe Biden's strategy, his strategy was to exclude the black man altogether. His campaign strategy was to galvanize black women and everybody else, but to exclude black men. But now this election might be so close. Now he's kind of rubbing and saying, oh, well, maybe the black guys, we could do something with that. But if you look at his whole career has been to exclude and lock up black men. And he has a vice president that used the very law that he wrote to further her career to step on us. And yet you got people out here that are so damn scared of another 4 years of Trump. If you can, it's like you say, Five Star, if you can survive Reagan, you can survive anything. Because nothing was worse than when Reagan came through here in the 80s. But this is how they got us pegged and scared. He's not going to be in there forever. And even if he did, like I said yesterday, like I said on Demetra K's show, we are in a depression right now. If you go to the hood, nothing's changed. Everybody's walking around like it's the same old. They're still having the barbecue. They're still, going to the liquor store. They're still going to the cat. Nothing has changed for us because we're at the bottom of the economic scale. So what's the difference? Biden ain't going to give you shit. At least Trump is going to look at it. But if you compare the two people, Trump has done less to Black people than Biden ever did. Because Biden did Trump discriminate on his property and got sued for it? Yes, he did. But while he was getting sued for it, for discriminating, who was writing the crime bill? That was Joe Biden. And Joe Biden still has yet to apologize for what he did. But yet we get mad because Trump won't disagree with white supremacy. You want to hold Trump accountable, but you don't want to hold Biden accountable. Mitra?
Well, go ahead, D.
No, and I was also going to say too, so Trump, is Trump pandering? Hell yeah, he's pandering. He's pandering to Black people. But you know what? The Trump administration is smart, because what do you do with your opponent's weakness? What is the number one thing you do with their weakness? You exploit their weakness. And Trump saw that Biden's weakness was a relationship with not just Black people, because he's going to have Black people vote, but the sector of Black people who are waking up. So Trump said, okay, well, we've heard Kamala say they're not going to do nothing specifically for Blacks. Joe Biden said that he'd be damned if he is responsible for something his ancestors did. So we'll go out and make a platinum plan that specifically speaks to Black people. Now, is it bullshit? I don't know. It probably is, but that's the name of his game, right? And so Trump, he's a businessman to some degree. He came in and saw where Joe Biden was weak, and he says, well, I'll pick up the scraps and I'll go ahead and make a Black agenda, a Black plan. And so here we are. We've heard it from two people, Gary and, him and Mr. Williams's agenda. And we've heard it from Ice Cube, who said that he's basically, said, hey, I'm not interested right now. But this is the other thing. This is what happens when us as Black people say, well, we just need to get him in there. Then we gonna hold them accountable. So they know that's how we feel. Well, listen, you ain't expecting us to do nothing for you before the election now, up until this point. Why are you expecting something now? Wait like in the back of the line with the rest of the Negroes and wait and see if we gonna do something for you. So, Gary, I don't know you to be a liar. Why would Ice Cube lie about it? So it's like, but all these Negroes is going to stand on 10 toes behind the lie. Oh, Ice Cube was forging an alliance with Trump. As he said, Trump's campaign got back to me. I got the Bozak from Biden.
But a quick question. What if Ice Cube is forming an alliance? If this person is going to give Ice Cube what he wants in his plan, what's wrong with that? What's wrong with that? If he's going to give us $17 trillion and he's Hitler himself, what's wrong with that?
You got to understand something, man. I figured out a long time ago, some Black people don't want no money, man. Some Black people just want enough to buy a sack, man. And as long as they got enough to buy a sack, they good. I'm looking at some of the comments, telling you get off Trump's balls. And hold on. Let's talk real for a second. Let's talk real for a second. So Joe Biden, and I'm gonna put your comment up, Angela, because I'm finna pick on you. Trump telling Cube what he wants to hear. Trump lying, y'all crazy. Okay, so I'm gonna be crazy for a second. Is Joe Biden a Dixiecrat? Can one of y'all answer that, Demetri O'Donnell? Was Joe Biden's mentor a racist? Strom Thurmond, am I correct? Didn't Joe Biden sign his name on every crime bill since 1974? Am I correct?
That's correct.
So that means thousands and thousands of African Americans have been locked away on bullshit charges forever. You just had a man get out of prison on a life sentence for stealing some goddamn hedge clippers. Some hedge clippers. But under the laws that Biden was a part of. Okay. Didn't Biden speak at a bona fide, give the eulogy at a bona fide racist funeral? So here's my thing. You like you say, we dumb, we don't know nothing. So I got 4 years of idiocy from Trump, but I got 47 years of dumb shit from Biden. So what we need to do is we need to overlook 47 years compared to 4. Trump is a racist and Biden is a racist. So my question to any one of you black people, why would you vote for a racist? If both of them are racist, why would you vote for a racist? So you mad at Trump because he won't denounce white supremacy, but you're not upset with Biden for speaking at a white supremacist funeral, being mentored by a white supremacist. Some of you black people need to go find that rock that you crawled from under and take your ass back over there, because you're not making sense. Now, if you want Trump out of the building, let me tell you what you got to do. Because we caught you cheating again today in Harris County. You're going to have your elections not certified. That's the first thing you got to do, is stop all this goddamn cheating and getting caught with it. Because that's how Trump will end up staying in office. They won't certify some of these big ass counties and cities. And then all those elections in that county are going to be thrown out and they're going to have to do them all over again. That's the first thing you need to do. Secondly, bumping your mouth and not going to the polls ain't going to work. Because in Harris County alone, the top 10 voting polls throughout all these big numbers have been Republican polls. So you think because you got a line wrapped around the corner at Sunnyside, they ain't got a line wrapped around the corner in the white neighborhood? Another thing you need to do, you need to figure out how you're going to stop duplicating these ballots, because you're steadily getting caught every single day. Now, here's my thing. All that about the Republicans cheating, cool. You know what? You might be you look, baby, you look like you're super sexy. And I'm gonna teach you something from an old man's perspective. You know what? When your boyfriend cheating on you, the only time you can call it cheating when you catch it. It ain't cheating if you don't get caught. So guess what? Until you catch them Republicans, it ain't cheating. But the Democrats getting caught every single day. They are the reason that your elections are going to not be certified. And if I'm a candidate and this cheating been going on in the district where I'm running, you damn right I'm filing a lawsuit. So if you're going to come on here, please come on with some facts. Ain't nobody over here kissing Trump's behind. Some of us actually clearly understand that this man is of great danger, not just to black people, but people in general. But Joe Biden is who he is. And if y'all are cool with that, take that fifth wheel off the back of your car and put a cross and wet it with gas and let me stand by you and light it and ride your ass down the street with your cross fifth wheel. Because you're supporting a racist.
Right. And, and real quick, too, I want you guys to think about this. Also, it was really big in the news, and we're going to stay on topic. But those of you that have student loans, because they have not passed a bill, they're talking about 45 million Americans that are now going to be, credit is going to be ruined because they cannot pay their student loans. The average American is supposed to have 6 months of savings. Now, black people, we ain't the average Americans. We're actually excluded. So we ain't got six months of savings. Sandra Bland couldn't find anybody that she knew that had $300 to bail her out of jail. So now all of you educated Negroes and people that are doing whatever you got to do, you're going to default on your student loan, which is going to be catastrophic to the economy as it partakes. But Demetra?
Pelosi already got them damn near homeless, playing with the stimulus. You ain't got that 1,200. Star hope. You need to look. Some of y'all got pimp tendencies. Shelter pimping might work at this point because you're gonna be at the shelter pimping.
I mean, yeah, and you know, back to Angela. I'm assuming you're. I think I've read somewhere in one of the comments that you're independent. I'll tell you one thing, y'all in Houston, y'all got a lot of mosquitoes and insects. It's like, whoo, The California girl in me is like,
wait till the love bugs come out. Wait till the love bugs.
Ooh, I seen one the other day. I was like, is that a pterodactyl?
You talking about the mayor?
What is that? So, no, I ain't talking.
He a pterodactyl.
A Tyrannosaurus Rex or something. I was like, God.
She's saying,
so anyway.
So we supporting Trump. Baby, unless you new to this program, you got to be new to this. We support the real. And that's the problem. You don't want to hear the real about Joe Biden. The man riding around with a cross in his trunk at all times, man.
Can I just make a confession to y'all? I'm gonna confess something to y'all. Don't judge me. Any other day I'll be telling y'all I'm drinking like some juice. This is some real Jesus juice right here. This is the real deal. And I don't even know I don't drink, but I have to like get a little sedative going on because it's like Gary, I like, where have you been, Angela? You keep asking the same old question. You guys remember Lamb Chops? Sherry, whatever name, she sang the song that never ends. This is the song that never ends. It's like it's the question that never ends. You keep saying and making the same accusations. And we all three of you told you was Donovan and I are nonpartisan. Gary, he kind of, depending on how y'all make him feel, he might be a Republican one day. But we have said over and over again, we are not Trump supporters and we're not Biden supporters, but because now this is the juice kicking in, okay? You are unable to hear past the things that you've been taught. You want to keep on with the same talking points just to be right. We are not supporting either one of them, but damn, like you need to be able to hear the truth when it's before you. And that's what's wrong with us as Black people. When the truth is presented, we run away with it because, white people didn't tell me that. And as my boy Jonelle said, Biden has Obama attached to him. And no matter what Biden has done, we're going to go along with him because, that was Obama's right-hand man, Obama. But we cannot hear the truth. And the truth is, Joe Biden is and was a Dixiecrat. Nothing has changed. The man won't even go ahead and say, although I have fucked up, that's the juice, have fucked up the Black community, I still don't want to give you guys reparations. Even if I have the opportunity to do it, I don't want to help make partially what I did to you Black people right. And it's people like you, Angela, that get mad with people who are free thinkers, the Ice Cubes, for saying, hey, you know what? Neither one of those cats got a plan for us. How about I'll present something and then they can look at it. But instead, because you are a lot of Black people, and I hate to say this, my mama used to hate when I say this, but Black people, and this is not my original talking point, are the walking dead. We are the walking dead because we refuse to get new information. We love oppression, even if oppression knocks at the door and says, hello, I'm oppression. Vote for me so I can give you more oppression. So it's like at some point in time, I'm not assuming because you come on here every night with the same talking points about how we, love Trump, Trump this, Trump that. But Biden has shown you who he is for almost 50 years, and you continue to big up everything he's doing because you hate Trump. But I want to say this in closing. I get back to my juice. Don't let your hate for Trump get you fucked up by voting for Biden, who's going to get in there and really put a period to all of the things that he's been doing for the last 50 years, him and his girl Kamala. They do not love you as Black people, and as you as a Black woman should be in solidarity with your Black men. You have Black men saying that the Democratic Party has been ignoring them for all this time up until recently, but yet you won't understand even that point. At least Trump is saying, hey, Black man, what is it that I can do for you? But Trump Biden and Kamala, they're like, what do you mean? They're not going to vote for us now. Okay, well, get the Negroes, the Negro men to the table so we can blow more smoke up their ass. Like, wake up, sister.
Well, I'm gonna tell you something because you say some days I could go, man, I'm rocking with my Republican homies, man. And that's what it is, man. I don't give a damn if you get mad at me. I'm tired being broke. I'm rocking with my Republican homies, and that's what it is, man. Because you know what? When we created the organization and we finally got our last document in, it took so long, created the organization, Black Families Reunited. How many African-American politicians reached out to us to say, I want to support this organization? We didn't ask for any money, but it would have been great to just have a letter of support. How many? I tell you, it was 2. D.A. Brian Middleton from Fort Bend and State Representative Ron Reynolds from Fort Bend. Nobody gives a damn about repaying the Black family. Nobody gives a damn. But how many of my Republican homies reached out? Tons of them. Tons of them. See, you got your mind is twisted. See, your mind is going like this here. But then when you really go out there and get sip on that yak, your shit start doing like this here. You start thinking backwards. So if you can keep going backwards, then go back and understand when we really had money, land, and everything, when we were Republicans and got tricked into being Democrats. And once we got tricked into being Democrats, we lost our schools. We lost our businesses. Basically, we became slaves again. So guess what? If you're mad at me, you got 2 more weeks to talk it. But guess what I didn't do? Republican or Democrat, I didn't vote for Trump. I don't vote for idiocy. I'm going to tell you that now. I'm not going to do it. But I went down my ballot. And there's very few Democrats that made my cut. You know why? We sit here every night. We tell people, vote for David Newell. David came on the program, blew people away. David's a Republican. You see what I'm saying? Now Copeland came on here. People fell in love with him. Black people fell in love with Judge Copeland. But he's a Republican. So it doesn't matter about the D and the R, because they all get in the back room and they work together anyway. The question is, who's going to work for us? And if Q can get these people to work for us, please shut the fuck up so I can get my money. Please shut up so I can get my money. But if you don't want that, then take your ass to LA, catch you get a spirit flight to LA. Come up out of LAX and tell them drop you off on the corner of Crenshaw and Slauson and see if you can find Smokey.
And wait, really quick. I also want to say that Ice Cube was instrumental in helping Gavin Newsom come up with the reparation bills for Californians. But, he was like, I didn't need to say that. But since y'all saying I'm unqualified, well, I was also in on those talks. And Californians are now very close to getting a form of reparations. And so,
what I will never understand is, why is it that we are so quick to listen to the brother or sister that is on the street, ain't got a damn pot to piss in or a window to throw it out of? We'll listen to them, but the people that got the bag, we don't listen to them.
Let me say this here, because she made a comment. Because they come on the show don't mean they ain't gonna don't mean they're gonna do anything for you. So here's a question, especially if you're in Houston. Has Sheila Jackson Lee been on this show? She won't even come on the show. Has Al Green been on this show? Won't even come on this show. Has Sylvester Turner been on this show? Won't even come on the show. Has half of the Black City Council people been on this show? No, 2 of them, Calvin Shabazz and Letitia Plummer's been on this show. So here's my thing. Them Negroes won't even show up to tell a lie. At least the white folks show up and say something. Your representation is garbage and you don't want to accept it, and I get it. And for those that say, well, we should vote green, well, who the hell you think I voted for? The black woman sat on the show with us and say she was going to free the weed. Angela Walker say she was going to free the weed. Angela Walker say she bought the reparations. The other 2 parties don't give a damn. So guess who got my presidential vote? Somebody I believe that would do what we need done in our community. So I don't give a damn if they white. You know what's so amazing? If y'all so stuck on this white and black thing and Democratic and Republican, can you stop going to work for your Republican boss? Can you shut the hell up? Because all of y'all work for Republican bosses. Let's get it straight. 98% of y'all bosses are Republicans. So if you're so stuck on this Democratic and Republican thing, can you stop celebrating the Lakers? Because Jeannie Buss is goddamn Republican. Can you stop sucking McNair ass over there with the Texans? It's been documented they gave money to Donald Trump. So you don't get to pick and choose who you gonna rock with. But I'm gonna tell you who I'm rocking with. I'm rocking with them Republicans. Because y'all waiting on a stimulus, and them Republicans got me filling up the bag.
I think I said this on the last show or on Demetrius' show. I have never ran into a broke Black Republican. I've never done it. I've never seen it. Never done it. I've ran into a gang of broke ass Democrats, and I'm not here to dog the Democrats or Republicans. We need to elect people that are for the common good. You're supposed to be an American before you're an R or a D, and that's the problem. They play this game because if you notice, Donald Trump is a Democrat posing as a Republican. Okay, Dianne Feinstein, Senator of California, she's a Republican posing as a Democrat. And you can go in there and see how they can cross the line so easily because there's one party, the ruling party. That's all it's about. That's why when you go in there and vote, I voted Green Party too. I'm not ashamed to say it. Why? A Black woman as a vice president. Wow, box checked. Reparations, box checked. Universal health care, box checked. Weed, box checked. Everything that I think we need as Black people, that's what I voted. And this is the problem. Because we are zombies and our parents told us to do this and we're Northern Baptists because our parents are Northern Baptists and whatever else things that we are, we vote for oppression and we keep voting for oppression. And then we sit here and have the damn nerve to say, why isn't things changing? Because we're insane and we don't know it. You need to vote your pocketbook. You, not what's best for Donovan, because I'm going to tell you guys something. I'm not from the hood. I've been in the hood. I've got relatives in the hood. I'm not from the hood. So my interest isn't necessarily the same as somebody who is from the hood and vice versa. That's why we have to be individuals.
You know what? You say you ain't never met a Black Republican. You ain't never met a broke Republican. You can always tell a Republican over a Democrat. You know what Republicans look like? They look like when it ain't a pandemic, they in the mall at 10 o'clock in the morning on a Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, and a Friday. They soccer moms. They ain't busting their heads open. You can tell the Republican neighborhood because the schools ain't failing. School look like a university, brand new. You feel what I'm saying? You can kind of tell they neighborhoods where the grass is all cut and ain't no trash on the ground. The crime rate is low. You can even look at the map that Turner put out yesterday to give the additional police officers to. Ain't no Republican neighborhoods on that map. So why is it that y'all don't want to live in a clean community? Why you don't want to live where the schools ain't failing? Because somebody that made you believe that being a Republican or supporting a Republican is the worst thing in the damn world when we had everything that we wanted and they tricked us into being Democrats. So when is somebody going to tell me I'm wrong about that one? Man, y'all so easy to figure out, man. They got you, hey, J. Edgar Hoover, not J. Edgar Hoover, but Lyndon B. Johnson wasn't lying. He going to have these Negroes voting Democrats for the next 200-300 years. It is what it is.
As I was riding around the last couple of days in my car, I was listening to radio stations out here in Houston, and I'm like, they are pumping the fear in Negroes. Because, I was listening to a Black radio station, and some of the number one things they were saying is, oh, well, don't vote for this person because they agreed with Trump. And this person, Obama said this about him, and they were using all these fear tactics. And I'm like, I was kind of pissed off about it because I'm like, they know for the most part, and y'all can be mad if you want to, the Negro community, not that we are unable to be abreast of what's going on. We refuse to be abreast of what's going on. And so they know they can outright lie over the radio and pump all this. All they got to do is evoke the word Trump. and Negroes go running like roaches. Oh my God, it's Trump, and they won't even question it. But the way my brain went was, well, the people that you're saying to vote for, how do the neighborhoods look? What are they actually doing for these Black people who weren't listening? So they won't tell that side of the story, but they'll put all this Trump mongering, if you will. And I'm not saying Trump is a good dude. You guys make your own decisions. I personally didn't vote for him either, but they're not telling the other side of the story. And that is the people that we on these radio stations lying to you about, they haven't done anything for you either. We just don't want Trump in there, but we want you guys to continue voting for these Democrats or these Black leadership, whoever they are. That is not going to do anything for you. Come November 4th, they are going to disappear like roaches, and you ain't going to see them until it's time to be reelected. So it's like, at some point in time, we as Black people got to start like thinking outside the box and start having a full, I'm one of those people, I like to have the full conversation. Don't just tell me, oh, well, if you go outside, you're going to get wet because it's raining. Also tell me, well, you probably won't get as wet if you put an umbrella over your head. Like, tell me the whole story. Don't just give me the scary parts. I want to know all of the possibilities as to what I'm dealing with. But, at some point in time, we just got to say, some of this is on us because we keep voting for the same old people, giving us the same old things, which is absolutely nothing. But as you said, Gary, Trump has been in office less than 4 years. Y'all Negroes are more mad at Trump than you are the representation that you've had in your neighborhoods for 20, 30, and 40 years that has not done anything for you. Like, you're more mad at Trump, who is right now a Republican doing what Republicans do, and that's go get the money for white people. You're mad at him for doing that, but you're not mad at your Negro leadership that won't even, like Gary said, don't even physically live in your neighborhood. And it's a dead giveaway that they don't, because they ain't gonna step all over garbage and run Mercedes and BMWs all over potholes every day. They ain't gonna do that. I mean, come on, think about it.
The thing is, let me jump on Kamala. People saying you gotta vote for Biden and Harris because Kamala, she gonna do this and she gonna do that. Well, I'm confused. So when Joe was sitting next to Obama in the same position that Kamala would sit in, why couldn't Joe do some shit for Black people? Joe ain't have no intentions of doing it because the man in charge, wasn't gonna do it any goddamn way. So Kamala's not gonna do anything. She, I don't even know why we have a vice president some days, because they don't do shit. Let's just tell the truth. They don't do nothing. Nothing dollar bill style, nothing. But you are looking for a savior. And as the minister tells us, ain't none of these people gonna save us. We gotta save ourselves. And the first thing you can do to start saving yourself is make yourself knowledgeable of the process. So let me ask a dumb question. And I'm sitting here in super pain, but I'm here giving you the game. If you go to the voting polls and you have a mail-in ballot and you say, well, I don't want to do it, I want to vote. What's the process? If you don't know the process, say, I don't know. Because if you don't know the process, you are already behind. You are already behind. So what happens if you show up with your mail-in ballot and they tell you, well, we already have a ballot for you. You've already voted. What's the process? If you don't know, then shut up. But you gonna listen to these people who represent you. Oh, don't worry about it. Just go in there and do this here. And have no clue that what they just told you is a violation of federal law. But you dumb enough to go and do it. You dumb enough to go and do it. I swear to God, when the man went, I'm going in the lab and I'm going to write the song. Joe Biden going to hit you with the dig. Joe Biden going to hit you with the dig. I'm going to make it a platinum song.
Well, I always ask people when we get in discussions about, the Biden and thing now, a lot of people can tell you a lot about Trump. They saw him on The Apprentice, you can do his history, whatever. But if you really think about it, when you ask somebody, tell me a little bit of what you know about Joe Biden. If they're lucky, they might have heard that he wrote the crime bill, if they're lucky. But if you really think about it, for those of you that support Biden, you're going to vote for Biden. What do you know about Joe Biden? But you're voting for, a lot of you are voting for this man and you don't know anything about him.
I tell you something I know about him. That everybody jumped Trump for writing that full page ad about the Central Park Five. Well, if Biden hadn't signed that crime bill that put them young brothers and that Latino brother in jail for that long period of time, they'd have never went. But you don't want to say that when you bring it up. Like Demetrius say, can you talk about both sides of the ball? They both evil. Let's not get that twisted. They're both evil. And I can't vote for the lesser of two evils. Well, I can't say I can't vote for him. I didn't vote for him. I voted green. Because green that's money. And if you're smart, you're going to go get you some Republican homies and get to that bag, man. Because that stimulus is held up.
Exactly. And then if you get the stimulus, it's a one-time payment once again. But again, I'll tell you guys what. Joe Biden is 78 years old. He is not going to, if he wins, he's not going to run for re-election. So that means if Kamala is now in the seat, this woman is a one-generation person. That's not even ADOS. Do you guys realize there hasn't even been a ADOS president as of yet? But this woman, being a first-generation immigrant, she's already at the vice presidency. So that puts her in a position to run for president within the next 4 years. I say this, after this election, no matter who wins, you guys better start looking for some candidates that are going to do something, because the Democratic Party ain't going to do a damn thing for Black people, because they're going to use the excuse, oh, we got to do this, or we got to do that, or we got to do the immigrants, we got to do DACA, we got to do for everybody else. And just like Obama, oh man, I forgot you guys. I'm sorry. Well, my time is up. Gotta go.
Well, let me jack this 18 wheeler up so I can slide a couple of y'all up under it so that you can get it. Because I'm going into the family business now. When you talk about Trump kids, you drag them through the mud. Let's talk about Biden, old crackhead son, who done left his laptops at the shop. And everything Trump said y'all was doing is in them laptops. What y'all got to say about it now? What y'all got to say now? The man, a crackhead, was laying in the bed with the crack pipe hanging out his mouth. The apple don't fall far from the tree.
And did his son or his daughter, who was a drug addict as well, did they go to jail under the Biden law? No, they did not. They got probation. But what did Uncle Otis get? What did Kareem get? Life.
Yeah, so I mean, clearly there's a lot of hypocrisy going on. I don't know if you guys caught the news. Jeffrey Toobin, who is a CNN contributor, and he followed the OJ trial for, over the last 25 years, wrote a book. The movie, the series, The People versus OJ, is actually based off of Jeffrey Toobin's work. Well, just the other day, he got caught on, I guess we can call this now a hot mic on Zoom, pleasuring himself. He thought that I guess he thought he didn't know that people could see him, doing his thing, right? And so CNN or whatever suspended him. The New York Times, the writer for the New York Times, for 25 years, they suspended him. But I'm like, all these people who are so critical of everybody else, now your little chickens is coming out. Now I have a home to roost, but they coming outside. Like, they like, hey, or the skeletons jumping out the closet. Hey, so it's like, like I said, there's a lot of hypocrisy going on, and people are pointing the finger and throwing stones. But it's like, well, what are you doing?
Well, let me interpret that for you. For y'all that didn't understand them big words, the man was sitting on social media jacking off.
Yeah, so
playing with his meat.
For lack of better words, that's what he was doing. He said he didn't know that that he was still on Zoom. The co-workers saw him doing his thing. And yeah.
But
Well,
what comments gonna make you sit on a Zoom and jack off? The man was jacking off, man. What did they say on there that made him want to just play with his meat in the middle of a Zoom conversation?
Did any of you guys see that video? I put it up on my page. I think I sent it to Demetra as well, about that teacher that was breaking down how you parents that are at homeschooling your children, what you should be doing. You guys are walking behind the child in your drawers. Some of y'all ain't getting the kids ready. The kids are eating, Fruit Loops and stuff. There was one video where the boyfriend was beating the mom or something like that. I mean, we got to get it together, folks. We got to get it together. It's a different world now. It's a different world.
Let me address this comment here. Keep us. How you doing? He says, did Trump make that comment in 1989? The crime bill was written in 1994. See, this is what happens. I'm not saying you, but when people only have half of the story. Now, we've heard at least 152,000 times. Joe Biden says, I am the author of every major and minor crime bill since when?
1974.
1976, actually, but close. Yeah. So if I'm not mistaken, 1976 precedes 1989, right?
Yes.
I rest my case.
According to hopefully I don't say your name wrong, Amawale, the elder, he says, here's what I know about Joe Biden. He chaired the Senate Judiciary Committee that voted in Clarence Thomas as a Supreme Court justice. Clarence Thomas is the worst Supreme Court judge in the history of the Supreme Court, Negro or not. And
Joe Biden was under scrutiny, if you will, because, as you said, he did chair that committee, and his Republican senator homies was the one that was going after Anita. And, he said in the latter years, oh, yeah, I should have got control of my buddies. I should have stepped in. But to your point, I mean, he did low-key help nominate Clarence Thomas. And he is the worst. Like, this dude is he's like bad for business and bad for Black people. But yet the same people who are talking about, oh, we need Biden in there so he can get a Supreme Court justice, well, he gave you one. Clarence Thomas, what else do you need to see from this cat?
Yeah, I mean, Clarence Thomas is no different than that AG in Kentucky. The same blueprint, the same, your dark-skinned brother, which is cool, which is great, but you act like you're the whitest of the white. No matter what master say, you gonna do. That's Clarence Thomas, and that's the AG in Kentucky.
My homie Skip Flanagan. Skip is going to eventually come on the show because Skip is not shy about telling you his life story. And he wrote a book called I Had No Choice But to Get Rich. And it's going to be a bestseller. No questions about it. You know why? Because Skip was sentenced under those crime bill laws. And when Skip got home, there was nothing there for him. Hard to find a job. Hard to find a place to stay. So Skip had no choice but to legally get rich. See, y'all don't understand. If y'all ain't been through this thing, you just guesstimating. You guesstimate. Those crime bill laws decimated the Black community. They decimated the Black community. And you wondering why ain't no Black men in the household? Because them crime laws locked them up forever on some humbug. Come on, man. Everybody, oh, well, they was selling crack back then, and you were dating a crack dealer. You ain't had no problem spending the crack money.
Well, don't even worry about that, because it's like Kamala said, she smoked a little weed. She's Jamaican, right? Tupac. But you're going to lock the very people up under something that you did your damn self? Hypocrisy.
And the apologies The apology to Anita Hill, garbage. The apology for the crime bills, garbage. You know, we can tell when you're just doing something to do it. A sincere apology is going to be just that. But you can't keep apologizing for what you've done for 47 years. I'm talking about 47 years. Joe Biden been fucking people up since I was 5 years old. Man, come on, dog. Yeah, if it ain't nothing wrong with smoking weed, Angela, this is what she says. Ain't nothing, basically what you were trying to say, ain't nothing wrong with smoking weed.
Get her, Gary.
So why in the hell won't Biden and Harris commit to decriminalizing it? The only ones I heard talking about decriminalizing it is the Green Party. So why your people won't decriminalize it? Say, I don't know if they sent you here tonight, but I'm going to tell you something. I don't know how you look, but you're going to leave here with no ass. Because we're going to chew your ass up all night long.
You know what? Yes, ditto. But listen, I agree with Skipping. You know, kudos to you for, you know, as they say to us Negroes, pulling yourself up by the bootstraps, right? We know that's a whole loaded statement there. But no, kudos to you for doing that. But I agree with him. I think you do got to be a whole slave to continue voting for the Democrats. I really think you do. I mean, they keep showing us who they are. Then, you know, Joe Biden says, well, I'm just going to continue the status quo. How does the status quo benefit anybody, let alone a Negro? And we going to continue voting for the same old thing? Like, really? Come on. I mean, I get it if you are just not aware and not awake, then you don't know any better. But once you get all this good-ass information and you become aware, it does make you a slave because now you're just willing to just be used.
Yeah, you know, and not only did he say that, he said, I want to give more money to the police department, never addressed police brutality because he wrote the crime bill. It goes hand in hand with the prison industrial complex. With what's going on in America right now, and you're running for president, how do you say, I'm going to give the police more money? I'm not for qualified immunity, or I'm not for repealing it. How can you say that and you depend on black votes? Bad.
They have no respect for the black community. See, we don't have enough respect for ourselves to educate ourselves to understand we getting played. So therefore, they ain't gonna never respect us. So they'll go get them a Negro to line up with us, to line up with them. So when they come for us, the first thing you see is the Negro. That's why you see Kamala, you know, on Facebook dancing down the hallway with the little marching band and all that shit. Well, here's a question. When you dance down the hallway with a military style band in a white school, so you don't go over there and do that old Negro shit when you go talk to them white people. So you got one conversation for the black community. You got another conversation for the white community. You ain't finna go over there and do all that stuff, man. But you're gonna come to our neighborhood and like my man in the New Edition movie, you know, when New Edition came in and was singing in the middle of the record label.
Yeah. Yeah, at the corporate headquarters, right?
Yeah, I mean that's the type of shit you do to us. That's that type of shit you do to us. On top of that, it's Thanksgiving, so a lot of y'all votes, man, go get them turkeys, man. That's all they got for y'all, man. See, they can't get out and do the barbecues and give you the chicken and the soda, so they done substituted the chicken and the soda for some masks and some gloves. And now they pimping anything that can help them get votes. You pimping dead people's families that have been murdered by the police. You pimping from Houston to St. Louis. Why every time we bring up George Floyd, I gotta have a politician in the middle of the goddamn mix? These people didn't give a damn about George Floyd because if they did, he would have never had to move to Minnesota. See, you don't want me to talk to him because I'm gonna give it to him real, man. These people don't give a damn about you. They don't give a damn about me. They only give a damn about money.
Well, you know, we're winding it down real quick, but before we go, I just want to talk to my homie, the Queen, and give us a little synopsis of the difference between, you know, Houston and California. You know, how are you doing out there?
As y'all can see, I'm shinier than a penny, okay? It is humid as a mug out here. It's like You know, I was trying to lose some weight, but damn, I'm gonna be skin and bones by next week. No, but you know, it's a definitely big change from California. California is high pace. You know, it's zip and go. Everybody's, you know, not saying that's not true for Houston, but Houston is a little slower pace. And you know, I'll be 50 in April, so I need that. I need a little bit of slower pace, a different change. But I like Houston. I know I'm gonna like it because I get to see more of our people, more Black people. You know, in California, it's not a whole lot of us left. But I love being around Black people, and so that's really what I'm looking forward to. But you know, more importantly, my dude is here, so that's really why I'm here.
What's your final thoughts, Donovan?
Well, my final thoughts is this: we got 2 weeks for the election, and you know, God bless you, whoever you vote for. You go ahead and vote for that person. Okay, it is your right. It is your vote. I'm just supposed to respect it. I don't have to like your vote, but I'm going to respect your vote. But at the end of the day, I just want you to remember this. When whoever you vote for, I'm hoping you've done your research on that person. And if that person walks around with the damn sheet and a cross in the back of his car, and you still want to vote for that person, and then after 4 years of that person's administration, and you see nothing has changed, if not even gotten worse, you're part of the problem because you didn't do your research. But I respect your right to vote the way you want to vote.
Remember, on election night, you ain't got to tune in to CNN, Fox News, none of that. You're going to tune into the War Zone because we're doing our own election show. We're going to keep it 100 the whole night. Hopefully my homies don't get burnt out on me, but we going hard in the paint, man. You're going to get real commentary from real people. You feel what I'm saying? So the only thing I can tell you is go cast your vote for whoever you choose to cast your vote for. You can even lie and say you didn't vote for Trump. That's what some of y'all gonna do anyway, knowing full well that's who you're gonna vote for. I already know how the game go. That's what y'all gonna do. But just long as you vote, do what you do. Make sure if something happens at the polls and they're telling you that you've already voted, that you know how to solve that issue. I ain't gonna tell you how to solve it. Go do the research. Go do the research. But I tell you what, tomorrow night we're gonna shake the game up again because we're gonna bring him back. He running against the big dog, Sheila Jackson Lee. My man Wendell Champion coming into the building tomorrow night. Black Republican, gonna put it down candy. If you don't like it, don't show up. Say, man, I want to thank y'all for tuning in. Another spirited discussion. And remember, Warzone Radio on the 27th of October, the morning show. But you got to download the app, man. Street 100 The Heat. That's the only way you're going to be able to listen. I want to thank my good friend, Donovan Sadiq, the Queen, Demetra K, and I am the 5-star general tomorrow night, running for Congressional District 18. Black Republican, straight out of 5th Ward, Texas, went from welfare to West Point. Wendell Champion will be in the zone tomorrow night. Until then, we'll holler at you.